Hey, this is We've Been Drinking MMA. We are breaking down and predicting UFC 294, Volkanovski Makachev 2. This fight is between Javid Basharat versus Victor Henry at Bantamweight, 135 pounds. This is backhand. My tentative pick is Javid Basharat, and so is Lousy's. He's also picking Javid Basharat. Javid Basharat is undefeated, 14-0 with 11 finishes. However, Javid Basharat, in reality, he's 3-0 in the UFC, and they're all decisions. All three are decisions, and it's for a reason. He's got pillow hands, and his opponent Victor Henry in this fight also has pillow hands. So guess what? What we do when that happens is we're betting on it going the distance. That's what we are doing. Basharat is also minus 550, $550 to profit $100. So it's a little bit ridiculous, but he is 14-0. Whereas Victor Henry is 23-6, so not the greatest record. However, Victor Henry is 2-1 in the UFC, and his only losses to Rafael Assunção, who is a perennial top 10 ranked fighter at bantamweight, 135 pounds. So, Victor Henry, what he's shown is that he's a decision fighter as well. All three fights he's had in the UFC has gone to decision. So, further evidence that it's going to decision. It's kind of funny because in this fight, it's not going to be very entertaining, I'll be honest. Javid Basharat and Victor Henry, they have pillow hands, and on top of that, they don't really like to throw with, they're not active. They don't throw that many punches. Even if it says, Victor Henry is throwing 8 significant strikes landed per minute, it's just not true. I mean, the strikes are not significant at all. Javid Basharat at 5.6 significant strikes landed per minute. It's just, again, not true. They're not throwing with any heat. And in reality, what they're doing is, I think what they're forgetting is that they're throwing a lot of fake punches. That's what the stats aren't saying. Javid Basharat and Victor Henry throw a lot of fake punches, meaning just punches that are just no power whatsoever on them. And they're not even intending to actually land and hurt. They're intending just to get the opponent to draw a counter punch out of the opponent. And so that's their game. Victor Henry and Javid Basharat are actually very similar. It's almost like they, are trained from the same, team, because the way they fight is a lot of feints, a lot of, stuttering, a lot of fake punches to draw out a big punch from the opponent. And then they just back up and let the opponent just drain down his gas tank. And then Javid Basharat and Victor Henry start turning it up in the second and really more in the third round. So they're both of their strategies are the same. They try and gas their opponents out. So super boring to watch when they're going to do it to each other. You know what I mean? So I'm expecting a snooze fest. I'm expecting both of them to just try and do all these feints and act like they're going to punch, but not really punch. And it's just going to be boring. But it's a great way to for a bet for us for going the distance, going all 3 rounds, and that's ultimately what we think it's going to be. The stats say it. We've seen it with our eyes, and now hopefully we can get some money with it, knowing with that knowledge. So appreciate you all listening to this breakdown of Javid Basharat versus Victor Henry. Again, the pick is tentatively Javid Basharat, but they're both doing the same thing. They're just throwing a lot of feints and fake punches, and they're not committing to anything because they're just trying to gas their opponents out. So we're betting on it going the distance. Thanks. Like, subscribe, and comment, please, for that YouTube algo.